Hey, divas. Hey. Hey. Okay, I know I've been gone for a really, really long time, and for that, I am truly sorry. I have had a lot going on with work, and then okay, look, I did film 2 podcast episodes in between now and the last one that I uploaded. Never got to edit them because by the time I went to go edit them, a lot of the stuff that I was talking about wasn't topical anymore. Also, I'm obviously not at home. I'm in a hotel room right now. I'm currently in Winston-Salem in North Carolina. I'm about 90% sure that this hotel is haunted. If it is, spirits, if you're here, I don't want to bother you. And you don't have to bother me. We can be friends and exist together in this space. Also, I'll teach you what running water is if you're really old. You died a really long time ago. But I do not welcome any negative energy to stay attached to me because we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But yeah, hey. It's like running into your ex in public and you're like, wow. But so I did have 2 episodes that I filmed, never edited. By the time I went to go edit them, what I was talking about wasn't really relevant anymore, which I need to stop looking at things like that. But there were some things in there that were very topical, and were kind of of the moment type situation. So I didn't edit them, and then I got busy with work, and life has just continued to keep going, But I'm here now. Okay, we're going to attempt to do bi-weekly uploads again, if not at least once a month. And then I'm also trying to get a YouTube video up on my YouTube channel because it's been a year at this point, which is kind of insane. But I have hit 8,000 subs on there, which is fucking crazy considering I haven't uploaded in a year. I am actively attempting to get back to it. So, just trust me when I say that I am trying my hardest to do so. But there were things I wanted to talk about today. I have Big Bang Theory on in the background because they're when I tell you dead ass nothing on television, and it is a smart TV, but it also has regular live TV on it. It's just it's not. When I'm in a hotel, I constantly need something on the television, or I think I'm going to go crazy because I'm in a space that I don't know. Also, on top of me not editing there was an episode that I was almost done editing, and then I lost my SD card. And I couldn't find it. I did end up finding it after I already ordered a new one. So there's that, which is awesome. And I forgot to transfer the footage onto my hard drive. So all of the footage was just on the SD card and not on the hard drive. I found it a week later. After I already ordered another one and it came and I went to go format it and whatever. So it is what it is. I really am doing my best to just kind of get back into the groove of things because my life has been very chaotic, not in the best way. It's just been a lot. There's been a lot going on, and things have felt very heavy lately, which isn't fun. For those of you who know, I work in motorsports and I specifically work a lot in NASCAR, and Kyle Busch passed away back in May, and I'm not gonna lie, it did take a toll on myself as well as the community around me. And I'm a very empathetic person, so seeing other people grieving that I know and respect is really hard to come to terms with. It is a really difficult thing to just rationalize and realize what's going on. And the hardest part about it was seeing Samantha, his wife, and their 2 kids at the track that weekend because nobody really knew that they were going to be there. I fully didn't expect them to be there because obviously she just lost her husband. But a part of me is really glad that they were there because they saw that the entire community was behind them, as well as all of the drivers and the crews and everybody else on top of that. And so I am glad that Samantha especially was able to see that nobody is giving up on them, and we're as a community going to be there for them forever, pretty much. And a lot of drivers were talking about how they will always be there for Brexton it won't be the same as having his dad around, but it is something that they will do to make sure that he has some sort of support system, which I have a lot of respect for, because I've never lost a parent, thank God, but I've lost people close to me, and grief is not a fun emotion to navigate and to have, especially when it's someone close to you, and it's really hard. And I myself was not very close with the Bush family. I have talked to Kyle Busch before. I have interviewed him. I have sat down and talked to him. He was just a very kind and genuine human being when you were talking to him outside the track, or even at the track when things were like okay, but like not anything that was so difficult to like navigate that it was like really hard to get to until I talk about. But he was always just really sweet. I never had a bad interaction with him, which is why like when a lot of people were talking, I would talk to some people and they were like, no, we don't talk to him because he is XYZ, and I'm like, why? Like, he's genuinely just a really nice guy. Like, if you're talking to him about something that like he did that happened, yeah, obviously he's going to be very emotional. I booed him as a kid. I didn't like him as a kid. I grew up in a Jeff Gordon household, and so we didn't support Kyle Busch, but I did watch Kyle Busch race as I was growing up. Like, I've watched this man my whole life, and to go from seeing him at the track every single time I went to the track to not seeing him at all was really hard. It was a really big adjustment for myself to make, and it's focusing on this corner of the room, and I don't know why. But it was a really tough weekend in general, just because that weekend was the Coke 600, which is the longest race of the year, which is also like really hard to get through already because it's the longest race of the year. It's a really long weekend as well, and so on top of that, when you're throwing like grief and like all of these like really scary things in front of you, it's really hard to deal with. And on top of that, it was raining all weekend as well, so it was dealing with rain delays and then like all these really high emotions, and it was a lot. It was a lot, and you could tell that the vibe was off all weekend. Like, everybody was very somber, and it was very different from when I have been at the racetrack, and so it was really big loss for the community, and you're still feeling it, to be completely honest. Like, it's definitely something that you still notice. Like, there's this absence that you can feel when you're there, and it's just not the same. And like, I've talked to Kyle Busch fans who like were diehard like Rowdy Nation, like, and they're like, it just doesn't, like, I can't bring myself to watch a race anymore because I'm looking for him on the track and he's not there. And I don't blame them, and it's a really complicated thing to navigate because a lot of people didn't know him, but you watched him race, so it felt like you did know him. And like, it's like the breaking down of parasocial relationships, but like in sports, is very different from what I feel like a celebrity or something. Like, they're still parasocial, but it feels very different because like, especially NASCAR is very fan accessible, so you can meet drivers very easily. And like, I've run into drivers like outside of the track or just even around the track. Like, they're in plain clothes, they're not in their fire suits. Like, I run into Justin Allgaier all the time, and him and I chit chat, and like, I'm one of those people that he like knows my face and like will talk to me, which is really cool because I love him, he's great. But like, Bush wasn't one of those people to me. Like, he knew who I worked for, and I was always really nice to him, so there was never like any animosity there. It really sucks, and it was a really hard loss. And then on top of that, like, dealing with my own grief outside of that instance made the grief that I feel on a yearly basis harder this year than the past few years because of that as well. I feel like I've been growing a lot lately too. Like, I turned 25 back in March. I don't know. I feel like I've been approaching life a very different way than I have been the last few years, and that goes to like my interpersonal relationships as well. And I've just been trying to navigate some of those as best as I can. And I started doing CPT therapy, so cognitive processing therapy, into CBT, which is like normal therapy, like talk therapy, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. And that's when you like talk about the behaviors and like you like recognize them and then work through it that way. But cognitive processing is like trying to find the root. So like, for me, it's like the root thought that is causing the negative feelings. And so it's been a lot of like breaking that down, which has been hard. It's been heavy because I've been in therapy for almost 12 years of my life. It's a lot to like take something that's like, oh, it's this thing that I've been repeating to myself my entire life that causes these emotions to happen, and I need to get rid of this thought. But it's harder to do when I've programmed my brain into thinking this, which then leads to me feeling a certain way. It's connected to all aspects of my life, but especially my personal relationships that I have with people and how I navigate those. And it's just like, I've been navigating a lot of those, and I've gotten to the point where it's like, I know that I love people big. I love people loud. I love people hard. To me, my friends and family are the most important people in my life, as for most people, but especially my friends, because I have been friends with certain people in my life for basically my whole life. I have a friend that I have known since I was born. So for the past 25 years, she has been in my life. I then have friends from elementary school that I've known for the past 20 years, which is like absolutely insane. But those people are some of the most important people to me in my life, and I would not do anything. Like, I don't know if I would be able to like survive without them. And then I also have my friends that I met in college and like friends in high school, etc., etc. And there are people that like I talk to that went to the same high school as me, that went to the same middle school as me, that I went to college with. Obviously, you meet a lot of your friends that are in your adult life in college, if not in high school. And then I've made friends in the past few years, just in the past 6 months, that have become very important people to me. I go to the ends of the earth for people that I love and care about, and they know that. However, when it's not reciprocated and it's obviously like one-sided, and you realize that there are some people that you put more effort into your relationship with them than they do with you, it's a really hard pill to swallow. And so I have been having to balance between self-respect and the love that I have for people. I hate being the person that has to initiate all the time, because relationships are a two-way street, whether they be platonic, romantic, familial, whatever they are a two-way street. You don't have one person that's putting in all of the effort and the other person is just there. It has to be equal balance, and obviously there was an imbalance in these relationships that I have, and I have given myself the allowance to not initiate anymore. And it sucks and it hurts, because those relationships that I don't initiate with, or at least haven't in the past like few months or so, have just slowly faded away. And it sucks because I still really do care about those people. They mean a lot to me. But I was always the one reaching out. I was always the one trying to talk to them. I was always the one going above and beyond for them, and was being met with not even half of that effort, or even like a sliver of the effort and appreciation that I was putting into the relationship. It's very draining to be in relationships like that are very one-sided, because you obviously care about this person a lot and you want the best for them, but when it's not reciprocated, it does sting. It stings and it sucks a lot. But I got to a point where I was like, I need to have self-respect for myself and stop doing this and putting myself in this anxiety-inducing situation to feel like I have to keep this person in my life. And as I've been going through CPT, I've been realizing, oh, a lot of this is because of this one thing that happened that has kind of like branched out and has resulted in the person that I am now, because of the thoughts that I'm having, and which lead to the anxieties and the sadness and the whatever. And it sucks. It sucks. It's so hard to navigate that, especially when you're an adult. And like, I'm not saying like all of my friends are adults, okay? Like, we all have jobs, we all have lives outside of our friendship with each other, and I understand that. But there are people in my life that I know if I reach out to them, I can rely on them. And if they reach out to me, they can rely on me. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter how much time has gone in between. But there are also some people where if I reach out to them, I don't think I can rely on them. And so those people I kind of had to just let fade into the background. And I've unfortunately gone through this a few times in the past few years. And it sucks. It's not fun. But I'm learning that it's just kind of a part of life. And it's something that you have to come to terms with for your own mental health. It's very heavy, and like I honestly, like, my heart hurts sometimes because I do miss that connection and that level of relationship that I had with those people, but I can't force it, and so I'm not going to, because I can't force somebody to want to stay in my life. I can only allow myself to give them the love that I want to give them and hope that they give it back and I can receive that. But if they don't reciprocate time and time again, it's time to pump the brakes a little bit. And I do understand, like, and I'm not saying people can't go through things. That's totally fine. And like, I've been there. I've been going through shit, but I have always been lucky enough to have friends that when I'm going through something, they're there to support me, and I feel comfortable enough to go to them because I know they're going to support me, versus I've also had friends who have gone through shit but didn't communicate that to me, and I couldn't be there for them because you're not telling me what's going on. I've also been there for my friends when they've been going through things that I know it's hard, and like, if they need to take time and distance and whatever it may be, that's fine, but I am not going to bend over backwards to keep someone in my life who clearly doesn't give as much effort and appreciation to our relationship to do that, which is why I've also just like given up on dating. I'm no longer dating, not because I found somebody, but because I've just fucking given up. I'm waving the white flag. It's over. Like, I'm done. Like, I just, like, it's so exhausting when you're on dating apps and you're the one putting in all of the effort into the conversation, and it's like, then why the fuck are you even here? Why are you even on this goddamn app in the first place if you're not even going to initiate the conversation or maintain it? Like, I don't understand. Like, I really am in a misandrist era right now where I'm just like, all men fucking suck and I hate all of them except for maybe 6. That's where I'm at. There's 6 men in my life that I don't absolutely fucking despise, and that's it. Most of them are related to me. There's maybe 2 that aren't, so that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, there's only 2, which is insane to think about. The other 4 are family members. Yeah, 2 are not related to me, 4 of them are. Isn't that crazy? That's kind of fucking insane. Anyway, enough about my feelings. Let's talk about Love Island. I'm going to spoil the season, so if you haven't finished it and somehow haven't gotten spoilers, first of all, how? I'm jealous of you. Second of all, skip to the next chapter of this episode, to the best of your ability, because I am going to spoil season 8. 1, 2, 3. I love Bernity so much, and I'm so glad that they won. And I'm so glad that Karanaya came in second, because tell me how, out of all of the fucking men in that fucking villa, only 2 of them were normal. Bryce and Carl, and that was it. If Sincere has no haters, I'm fucking dead. I swear to God, I cannot stand that man, and the more I hear about him since he's left the villa, and like people talking about him on the internet, and like people who know him or have dated him in the past, the more I hear about this man, the more I fucking hate him. I couldn't stand KC. I don't give a shit that he apologized to Anaya and whatever. The way he talks about women is disgusting, and it is incredibly misogynistic, even after everything that happened with Anaya. Even after. Dylan gives me the ick. Zach fucking gives me the ick. Zach is literally a fuckboy, and I cannot believe that Kata didn't see that they were in a situationship the whole time. Like, babe, he's saying I love you as a joke. What do you mean? I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. All respect to Charlie for going to bat for his brother, because I would do the same thing if my little sister was getting dragged online. But like, you're not gonna clock his behavior? Why is that? Why is that, Charlie? Is it because you're the same? We just didn't see a lot of you? Mayhaps the apple does not fall from the tree, you know what I'm saying? But oh my god. And Caleb was okay. Caleb didn't piss me off, but like, they didn't really show much of him other than like the love triangle with Kenzie. Corbin's a robot. You can't convince me otherwise. I'm sorry. Sean was okay. I do wish that he stayed a little bit longer, though. I am sad that he was the first one dumped from the villa, because I did want to see more of him. I thought he was genuinely like a really sweet guy, even though like ACAB, but he got fired anyways, so I guess it doesn't matter. I do want to do like a full Love Island breakdown of like this past season. I have had people that have said to me that like they don't want to watch the show, but they want to know all the tea and everything that happened. So in like series breakdown style, similar to like my Sabrina video that I did on my main channel, if we want to see that, I'll put a poll up and we can vote. I don't want to work on that script, and then it does okay, because like I do want to do it, but I also don't at the same time, because I know it's going to be so much work and so much explaining that I feel like by the time I even get it up, no one's gonna give a shit. So if we do want a Love Island video breaking down season 8, because I feel like I could do like a whole video essay on it, because the red pilling of some of these men in the villa was insane. Literally, the men in the villa reflect the current dating pool, and like how Casey, Sincere, Corbin, and Zach, the way that the 4 of them like talked about women and like interacted with the evil 4. Okay, you have the core 4, you also have the evil 4. I do have to say though, it was very weird to sit there after movie night and Corbin and Parmita were the only ones who clocked Sincere and his bullshit. He lied to all of them. Being named Sincere and all you do is fucking lie is crazy. Like, I can't do anything but fucking laugh, because like it's insane. And the hand going up every time this fucking hand went up, you knew he was goddamn lying. Like, I was like, oh my god. I do have to say, it was a really good culture moment this past season. I think last season was as well, but I do hope they continue like having some people that they've like brought in, and then other that they've like scouted, and other, it's like the rest is like normal people, because like Bryce, I know, was scouted for the show. What's her face, who was racist and like had to get taken out of Casa More, was also scouted because she's like an influencer or whatever. And then like a lot of them are in like to modeling and like things like that, so like it's obviously like a very certain like niche of like person, because if I had to go on Love Island, that is my worst fucking nightmare. I can't escape anybody. You don't give me any by myself time. I have to talk to people all the time. I have to kiss people I don't know and sleep in a bed with a man I've known for 2 hours. Why would a man be there? Why would a man be there? Unless we do Bi Island, Bi Love Island, I'm not gonna be in that villa. That is literally my version of hell, is having to be on Love Island, and like, no. Every single thought and thing that I say fucking televised to millions of people. Fuck that, dude. Absolutely not. And then also seeing like, because they had a lot of like normal people, like non-influencer people on the show this year, random ass people from their past coming out of the woodwork being like, yeah, I know this no. Not that I've done anything wrong to anybody. I'm sure I'm a villain in someone's fucking story. I don't need people I went to high school with being like, yeah, I knew her, she was kind of weird. No. I'll share that information about myself on my own, okay? I don't need someone I went to high school with 7 years ago going on the internet to get clout off of my name. Fuck you. But yeah, let me know if we want a full Love Island season 8 breakdown. I think next year I'm going to like make notes as each episode is happening and like post videos throughout the season, because I hope that it's as entertaining as it was these past 2 years. I didn't start watching the show until last year, and then this year like was even worse but better, you know what I mean? Like, it's my junk food show that I watch once a year, and then like other than that, I'm like watching I'm like actually engaging with media that matters to, like, that has like a very, not that reality TV doesn't matter, because it is a very big staple in pop culture, but I mean like that you actually have to use your critical thinking skills, because you don't have to use your critical thinking skills when you're watching reality television. Other shows and like reading and books and stuff, which is I'm gonna talk about in a second. Speaking of movies, I need to talk about the insane level of horror that has been coming out this past, well, I want to say the past like 2 years, because Weapons came out last year, absolutely phenomenal. Then you had Sinners that came out last year, literally should have won Best Picture. Horror has always been my top genre for the past 2 years because of all the horror films that have been coming out. I watched Slanted the other day, which I was very shocked at how like applicable it was to like current events and like the current political climate. Very well done. The story behind that was amazing. Leviticus should have been talked about as much as Obsession, because whoa, Leviticus was so good. I need to see it again. It was just absolutely phenomenal. I thought like everything about it was so good. They Will Kill You, so much fun. It was so much fun. The gore was great. It all happens in one location, which was really cool, and all of the camera work and everything felt very much like Scott Pilgrim, but if Scott Pilgrim was a murderer. Like, it's like action horror, which is like not a subgenre I would think I would enjoy. I watched Ready or Not, Here I Come. Ready or Not 2. That one was also really good. I loved Ready or Not, the original one. The Backrooms and Obsession, obviously. My sister and I watched Is God Is, also amazing. Forbidden Fruits, also fantastic. Forbidden Fruits was camp. I gotta say that much. I think the only horror... Iron Lung came out earlier this year, too. I forgot about that. The only horror movie that I saw this year that I absolutely hated was Scream 7. And for obvious reasons, I feel like it is definitely the weakest one out of the entire franchise. And if I'm gonna be so honest, we need to stop. I love Scream, okay? But I cannot stand fucking Skydance for what they did to Melissa Barrera, because what they did to her was absolutely ridiculous, and it just justified the hate that was being sent to her and Jenna Ortega, because they were casted in this new era of Scream, and because it wasn't Neve Campbell. And I hate to break it to y'all, but Scream was a really good requel. It was, because it had all the rules, it had the same, like, campiness to it as the original Scream did, like, with the twins and being related to Randy, so, like, you had that element, like, it was very well done, like, and in terms of a requel, like, it was very well done, which is why I also think, this might be a hot take, The Force Awakens was also a really good requel, and it was, like, probably one of the best ones that set up the kind of, like, the formula of how requels should go. People aren't ready for that conversation yet on how The Force Awakens was actually a good movie. People are just misogynistic. I really do think that that's the thing, and, like, unfortunately with Scream fans are not only, they are misogynistic, even though the main character of the face of the franchise is Neve Campbell, aka Sidney Prescott. They're also racist. So, but that's a conversation that they're not ready to hear yet, because they're like, well, it was just bad because you're reheating old nachos. What the hell was Scream 7 then? Because Scream 7 was the same fucking thing. Sorry, it was reheated nachos, but worse. It wasn't good. Like, it was not good. And I can't forgive them for what they did to Melissa Barrera. But there's so many good horror movies that are coming out this year that I really want to see. Obviously, not horror, but The Odyssey comes out. Supergirl came out earlier this month. Spider-Man comes out at the end of the month. I need to see The Mummy. Everybody said that The Mummy was good. The new Evil Dead movie comes out, and so does Insidious, the next Insidious movie, which actually doesn't look bad. All of the other Insidious movies, when I've seen the trailer, I'm like, this is god-awful. And I'm, like, not anywhere near scared in any capacity. This one actually looks pretty okay. I need to see Undertone. I haven't seen Undertone yet. And what was the other one? Passengers, and there was that one with fucking what's-his-face? Holcomb. I haven't seen Holcomb yet either. I need to watch it. I don't think it's streaming yet. I didn't get to see it when it was in theaters. A lot of good movies just in general have been coming out this year. Like, the drama was really good. I have a video I'm working on currently, actually talking about the internet's problem with film analysis lately because of the rise of anti-intellectualism and the literacy rates that continue to decline. I talk about the drama, the backrooms, and Obsession more in depth. So I'm not going to talk about them too much on here in this episode, but Obsession, loved. You could say I'm obsessed. That's a very unique joke, and no one has made that joke since this movie has come out. I'm the first one to say it, obviously, months later after this movie has come out and been released and now it's streaming. The Backrooms I also thought was fantastic. Not just from, like, the way that the youngest man alive ever, Kane Parsons, was able to take an idea that existed solely as, like, an internet thing, gave it a whole storyline, but, like, when you actually break it down and how, like, Obsession, and especially the Backrooms, like, connects back to red pillification of men, it's kind of crazy. And just, like, there were so many like, Obsession was good because of the story and the acting and because it was low budget, and it doesn't look low budget even though it had a low budget. Obsession was good because of the budget that was put behind it, in addition to the fact that the directorial elements and, like, every other element of it was really well done. I do think there are a few things that in the back rooms could have been a little bit clearer in terms of story, but I also do think people fucking close their eyes and shut their ears when they watch shit now because they ask the most basic fucking questions, and it's like, you obviously weren't paying attention because your attention span is equal to one of a goldfish, and it's sad. I'm literally working on the YouTube script. I started on it last week, and I have been working on it slowly because I've been very busy with work. So I'm hoping to get that out soon because Obsession has fortunately and unfortunately for the wrong reasons come back up in talks on YouTube specifically because of what's his face, who does like all of the like animated like movie reviews online, like had the worst take ever, which is also fuel to the fire of my video. So thanks for that, dude. But also, what the fuck, bro, missed the mark. I think his name is Alex. I could not tell you because I don't know and I don't watch him. I just know what his little white animated guy looks like on the internet. I think I watched like 2 of his videos when I was in middle school, and I never watched him ever again because I found him annoying. But speaking of the declining literacy rate around the world, especially in the United States of America, but specifically worldwide, I wanted to talk about this video that I saw that genuinely just like, I sent it to my mom because my mom is a reading teacher. Like, my mom got a bachelor's degree in teaching reading, like in reading education and teaching children how to read. And I sent it to her, and I was like, thank God you teach children how to read because we need people like you. And she thought it was like both sad and funny. But I want to talk about this. It's this video where like they read like this guy goes around and he has index cards and he makes people read them like out loud. And it honestly is so fucking sad that like the way that these people are grown ass adults and they can't read these fucking sentences. It's horrifying to me. It's horrifying to me. Okay, we're gonna watch this.
Gynecologists analyze.
Read this index card.
The geological analyze.
Read this index.
Like, what are we doing? Open the schools back up. The first one says, the geologists analyze sedimentary formations to reconstruct prehistoric environmental conditions. That is the first index card. Both people that are given it the first time can't fucking read it. They get it wrong on the second word, which is geologist. Guys, I'm scared for the world. I really am. I'm like fucking terrified. Okay.
Implication of
The Emancipation Proclamation catalyzed a systemic reconstruction of antebellum socio-political hierarchies.
proclamation capitalized a systemic reconstruction of the
I'm like
antebellum
sedimentary
socio
formatic conditions. This constructs
here
prehistoric
archives
environmental conditions.
This one says the enthusiastic Chihuahua disrupted the mayor's inauguration speech. That one's not even hard to say, but I'm going to show you what this guy says at the third word, which is Chihuahua.
Enthusiastic chinchilla.
Read the index card.
The subtle misinterpretation of benign intentions escalated into a disproportionately contentious dispute.
Begin intention T to
Cheat. I'm so glad that his friends behind him are like cooking him, because what the fuck do you mean you don't know how to say Chihuahua? The thing is like he is trying to sound it out, but at the same time, bro is sounding it out wrong, which I didn't know was fucking possible to do, but it is apparently. His friend behind him knows what he's reading. He's not even looking at the fucking card, bro.
I never seen it on paper.
read this index card.
I've never seen it on paper. I'm calling bullshit on that, dude. Do you not? What? What? Okay, theoretically, say you haven't. Say you haven't seen Chihuahua written out on paper. You sounded it out wrong, dude. What? Huh? What? And this is why when people are like, oh, you read in your free time, do you think you're better than, so you think you're better than me? Yes, I do. I do. Because you know what? If someone handed me one of these index cards, I would have been able to read it fucking out loud. Is that an elitist take? I don't know. Because, like, look, education is disproportionately served to people in America based off of, like, the literacy rates that are the lowest in the states that are the lowest are because they're the poorest. Money is the reason why a lot of these states are not given the resources that they need for education, and that's a problem in and of itself. It is completely systemic. A lot of it has to do with racism, because a lot of the states that do have lower literacy rates and reading and writing levels are because they are in the South, or they have a higher black population, or whatever it may be. And then even when you start looking like per state and you start breaking it down by county, counties that have a higher percentage of people of color versus white people will usually have a lower literacy rate, not because they're stupid, but because funds are not being allocated to those counties because they're people of color. Therefore, the education levels go down because the white people are getting more of the money, and the whiter counties are the ones getting the more money, which are then getting the higher education. Everything has to go back to racism, unfortunately. That's just like how the entirety of this country was built and runs still to this day. If you don't think racism is a problem, then I highly encourage you to look up the redistricting laws that were introduced in Tennessee. That is dead ass just fucking redlining. It's just redlining. They got rid of 2 black counties because they were able to redistrict, and which then turned those counties from blue to red. I just, like, people who deny that racism is a problem have their fucking eyes closed, because there's no way that you think that racism doesn't exist. It is more alive and well than it has been in the past few years, I would say, because of the fucking godforsaken decrepit orange that lives in the White House right now is the main reason for the problem. I mean, to be completely honest, I do think that the reason why conservatism is where it is right now is because of Ronald Reagan. Like, unfortunately, a lot of this bullshit can be traced right back to him, and he was the reason why so many conservatives have been able to take office and be where they are, because he normalized a lot of the policies that Trump is running on, and it is Reagan's fault. Anyway, that's a different video for a different day. I hate when people are like, you're not better than me because you read in your free time. I am actually, because I'm actually not, I don't use, and it's the same thing when people are like, so you think you're better than people because you don't use AI? Yeah, because instead of using AI for basic fucking human thought, I use the thing in my skull called my brain. Use your brain. Use your brain. That thing in your head. Use it. That's me at least once a week, if not once a day, because the rise of anti-intellectualism and the rise of AI go hand in hand. Like, the Venn diagram of this, it's just a fucking circle, bro. Like, it's so bad. And I am really glad that Harvard did that study where they, like, studied the brain activity of people who use AI on a daily basis and, like, talk to AI chatbots all the time for whatever fucking reason, and those who don't, who will use, like, regular, like, researching tools like Google minus the AI, or they just, like, think for themselves and problem solve using the problem solver that you are born with called your brain. And that they found, I don't know if the study is complete, I think they're continuing to do, like, observations and stuff, which I'm glad they are. I really hope they continue to do it, especially as AI becomes integrated into literally every fucking platform you could possibly think of, and I'm getting sick and tired of it, I'm not gonna lie. Not because it makes you stupid, but because it's literally killing the planet. Guys, we are going to run out of drinking water in 5 years because you want to fucking generate a picture of your dog at the beach as a human. Where did Photoshop go? I remember when Photoshop was, like, all the rage because you could make any image ever. Bring back photoshopping random shit together instead of using generative AI, because what the hell are we doing, guys? Hey, we're losing the plot. We're losing the plot and I'm scared. And I lost my train of thought. I'm thinking so much I can't keep track of one thought at a time. The Harvard study found that people who use AI on the daily and like constantly all the time instead of using their own brain to come up with shit have less brain activity in your brain than people who don't use it. You have less activity in your brain when you rely on AI. Like, we are getting closer and closer to becoming the fat people in the floating cars in Wall-E every fucking day. Like, I'm being so fucking serious. And it really is sad because I could not imagine being in school right now and, like, having, like, your classmates use AI to generate their entire fucking assignments and you being the only one who uses your fucking brain. I also can't imagine being a teacher at the moment because holy fucking hell. Like, we are seeing the direct effects of having kids be educated in lower education during the pandemic at home and online. Like, it is now, like, what is, like, causing a lot of what's happening right now, unfortunately. And I really do hope that this is just, like, a temporary situation. But I feel like it's not going to, because if you're using AI in high school, that is supposed to prepare you for the real world, and then using AI in college, like, all of these kids that are in school right now are not going to be able to do anything in the real world because you don't have any fucking skills whatsoever. You don't know how to think critically. You don't know how to write an essay without relying on AI to write it for you, or to outline the points from a book for you. You're relying too much on something that can generate wrong information as well as correct information, but it is mostly incorrect because it's taking everything in. So that includes all of the articles that are completely biased, that are entirely wrong and not fact-checked, while also including all of the stuff that is actually fact-checked, that is actually well-researched. And it's not differentiating between the two. Like, it's not choosing which ones it's going to use. It's just going to use them. And it's so disheartening to see, and I genuinely don't understand. Like, it's just pure laziness at the end of the day. Like, you're using generative AI and using an AI chatbot because you are too fucking lazy to do it yourself. And it's so disheartening. Like, no one is going to be able to do anything in a couple years because everybody, when they were in school, relied on fucking AI. But because everybody was using AI in high school and in their formative years of education, they're not going to be able to function as fucking human beings. But to be fair, there are now companies that are just fully embracing AI, and you just are hiring somebody to babysit a robot, which is embarrassing. It's so fucking embarrassing. I do think that we're gonna have another renaissance though in the next couple years of like just pure like genuine art and genuine like creativity, and I think this is going to happen across all platforms as well, which is why I think like movies that like Obsession and like The Backrooms that have like real people behind them have been doing so well because it's real art, it's real things created by people who have written scripts and like went through the process. I think we just need to take away all technology for a little bit of time and go back to like how things were in the 90s, technologically speaking, so people like actually communicate and talk to each other and have community, because we don't have that right now, and it's genuinely embarrassing, and I'm so sad for how this is going. But I don't think that AI is going to last much longer because all these companies are running out of fucking money, and they're also killing the planet, so eventually they're going to run out of resources and they're not going to be able to do anything. So I hope every AI company runs out of fucking money and goes bankrupt, and then all AI chatbots disappear. And when that happens, we are going to have an insane renaissance of art and music and literature and film and television, and just like every creative person that has been creating and yelling into the void, which like old man yells at cloud, is going to be profiting off of this, because everybody wants genuine human created things and they don't want a fucking AI slop. And a lot of people, majority of what I see on the internet, maybe it's just because it's my algorithm and like my algorithm is like, oh, you hate seeing AI shit. I only ever see people talking about how they hate AI slop and they don't want to see it anymore and they're just fucking over it and they just want genuine real people making things. Maybe that's just me. But I do think the majority of people are over AI. And the people who are using it constantly are using it because they realize that it's like a cheat code for money for them or something, or they hopped on it really early, so they're making a shit ton of money off of it. And it's like, you should honestly be ashamed of yourself, because what you're putting out is worse, and you're also killing the only planet we have in the process. But I'm gonna end it there because I can talk about this forever. AI bad, I hate AI. That's all for me for now. I'm hoping to record again next week and we can get like a proper bi-weekly uploads happening. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully a new YouTube video coming very, very soon. I'm hoping that it will be out shortly after this comes out, but I do have to just get through these next 2 weeks of work and then all will be smoothish sailing, smoother than now. I'll see you guys again when I see you. Okay, I need to go take a shower and get ready for bed because it's late and I gotta work tomorrow. I gotta go to the racetrack. Take care of yourselves. Do something nice for yourself today. Okay, bye.